You Go meeting. I am Jamie. I am one of the relationship managers for our Bike MS Ride to the River. I'm also joined here with Cindy Rodriguez. Cindy is the director for the Ride to the River as well. She has been doing this ride for 18 years. Is that right, Cindy?
Correct.
Correct. And then this will be my third ride for Bike MS. Um, with that, we'll just go ahead and I'm going to hop off camera and get on started. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. We will have some time at the end of the ride, or at the end of the ride, at the end of the meeting to go over some questions and answers. But feel free to drop any questions in the chat. Cindy will be watching that and letting us know if we have anything that needs to change or come up. So a little bit about MS. There are nearly 1 million people living with MS in the United States. Worldwide, there's about 2.8 million. So we don't know the exact cause of what causes MS. It could be a factor of environmental factors, or it could be genetics, or it could be something by both of them as well. But what happens is that the immune system starts attacking itself and specifically attaching the central nervous system and the myelin sheaths that our nerves send signals to across the body. Typically, the myelin sheath is a nice smooth coating that sends messages from the brain to the other parts of other parts of the body, and they travel quite quickly. But people that have MS, that myelin sheath gets attacked and starts breaking and degrading away, and it interrupts those signals that are going from the brain to the rest of the body. And it causes all sorts of different problems that people have that are living with MS. So it could be not being able to see. It could be anything that you would think of like trying to tell your hands how to button a shirt or trying to walk. And so what it does to your body is different for most people. And so what are we doing here at Bike MS? So we're actually riding our bikes as a fundraiser for the National MS Society. Specifically for our ride, we are trying to raise $1 million this year. There are 52 different rides across the US, and not all of them raise $1 million. We're one of the top 20 rides that are one of the few that are still raising $1 million. So the Texas MS 150, it is the one in Houston to College Station now. That one raises about 5 million to 10 million every single year. And so what we're also doing is we're trying to increase awareness increase awareness about MS and what the MS site does for those that are living with MS and those families that are living with MS as well too. And then we also want you to realize your potential and maximize your impact with your fundraising. Cindy and I are both here to help you with your fundraising. If you need any extra resources to help get the word about to your donors or to people that are potential donors, we can also help you with that as well too. That's our job. Another part of our job is trying to find our sponsors. We do have a national premier sponsor, and it's Primal. Primal helps support us through giving back when you guys buy kits or cycling wear, and they also provide us with a number of kits as well too. Left Hand Brewing Company is also our national beer sponsor. Left Hand Brewing Company also has a team here in San Antonio that participates in our ride. Locally, our presenting sponsor is HEB. Our gold sponsor are Valero, Kalig Auto Group, and University Health here in San Antonio. So today, what we're going to be kind of going over, we're going to be going over stuff about rider packets, packet pickups. We're going to be talking about our schedule events, some of the perks for being our top fundraisers, what it's going to be like if you're living with MS, and what our I Ride with MS experience or group is experiencing. And then also talking about our first year experience. So hopefully those that are on this call today get to know a little bit more about the ride, what to expect, and also a couple of things that'll help you along the way too. And of course, we're going to go over our route and the support as well that we have along the event as well. So to kind of kick us off with that, if you do not know, this is a fundraising event. So there is a $300 minimum fundraising for our event before you can pick up your packet. If you haven't got there, don't worry about it. We still have a good 2.5 weeks left to raise funds. And then also there on the registration page, there's also a number of things to help you out with your fundraising. There's a toolkit up on there as well. There's ideas on how to fundraise, different donation guides, including employer match gifts. Some of our employers will have a matching program so that anytime that you get a donation in or that you donate, that employer will match your donation. We have stuff that you can share on social media, whether it be images or stories that you can share that way. And then we also have stuff on interaction or the impacts and the missions that we have for our ride, cycling challenges, different training opportunities, and also our I Ride with MS program on our website. So a little bit about I Ride with MS program. We also have our champions as well too. We choose our champions. We generally have 4 to 6 of them every single year. And our champions are those in our community that are living with MS. Some of them participate in our rides, some of them don't. As you can see, Miss Christine Fierros, she participates in a ride. She's also one of our passport riders. And our passport riders are those riders that have raised over $5,000. They're also invited to go to any other ride across the country, that MS rides across the country, and they do not have to pay a registration fee or meet the minimum fundraising. Christine goes to about 5 to 6 of the MS rides each year. She picks out which one she wants to go to, and her husband travel to those as well. So she's been to California, Colorado, the ones in Texas, and I believe they went to New York last year as well. Another one of our champions this year is Marco. Marco is one of the community members that is living with MS. He is also uses the National MS Society, part of their navigator system, and then also a number of the services that we provide as well too. And so we want to highlight his story as well. You can find these stories and the rest of them online. If you go under to the ride details at the very bottom, there is a connecting to the mission. You can find their stories there. We also have these stories out when we have packet pickups, and then we also have them out Ride Weekend. And we have them in a couple different spots on Ride Weekend. You can see them at the start line. You can see them at lunch. You can see them at the overnight as well too. And most of our champions, I think actually all of our champions, will be at the ride this year as well. So if you do see their face around there, just know that you can always say hi, and you get a little bit more from their story if you'd like as well too. So going into the rider packet pickup. So as I said a second ago, this is a fundraising event. In order to be able to participate in the ride, we do ask that you do fundraise the minimum of $300 before you pick up your packet. We had our Club 100 packet pickup just a couple days ago, or last week, I should say. And there you see one of our Club 100 people with their rider bib and their Club 100 prize as well too, gift that we give them every single year. So you might be asking, okay, so when are these packet pickups? So this week, we actually have 2 of them. We have one in New Braunfels on September 19th, so that's Thursday night at Bluebonnet Ford. We also have another one in Houston on September 20th, and we'll have that at the National MS Society office that's there in Houston. We'll have another one on Thursday, September 26th. And we'll also have our final packet pickup on October 4th at our at our host hotel, which is Drury Plaza in San Antonio. All of these dates are up online, plus I'll be recording this one, so you should have that one in there too. And I believe there is an email being sent out to everybody too to let them know about their packet pickups. Again, before you pick up your packet, you do need to raise your $300 for that one. Does anybody have any questions so far? Not yet. Okay. So once you get your packet, there'll be a number of things inside of there. You'll have your rider number that's inside of there, and that's your bib number, your helmet tag, your luggage tag, and your bike tag on there. You'll also get a participant t-shirt and a little goodie bag that we kind of have along there with us as well. At packet pickup, we'll also have any updated schedule of events they'll be going on. If you're one of our top fundraisers, for those that have raised over $1,000 by the time they pick up their packet, you can also get our top fundraiser jersey. It's pictured right here. All of our Club 100, which is our top 100 fundraisers, and anyone that has reached the $1,000 limit or $1,000 minimum fundraising for that will get the jersey. If you have not raised $1,000, but you do plan on getting there, you still won't get it until you've reached that $1,000. So if that happens after the ride, that's also cool. We can get you your jersey at another date. We also have our cooling towels as well too. Our cooling towels have our Bike MS champion signature on them. It also gives us another reason. It gives us it helps us remember who we're riding for if you don't have a personal connection with MS already. So it gives you a little bit of that. So on our route, we also do have, go ahead, you have a question? So we also have shuttles for our ride. Our shuttles are sponsored in part by New Braunfels Chamber of Commerce. We do have a fee for our shuttles. There is a $20 fee if you purchase your tickets before September 24th. And then if after that, between there and during ride weekend, you can still purchase a shuttle ticket, and it'll only be $30. The nice thing about our shuttles is that our shuttles are for the whole weekend. So if you're going to use one of them, or if you're going to use 5 of the different shuttles, they're all still the same price. It's only $20. So a schedule for our shuttles. On Saturday morning, we have a shuttle that leaves from the Drury Plaza, which is our host hotel, to go to Rolling Oaks Mall, which is the start line. And then on Saturday morning, we also have a shuttle that goes from the finish line at Comal County Fairgrounds to the start line at Rolling Oaks Mall. And then Saturday afternoon, we have a shuttle that will go from the finish line to the hotels in New Braunfels. And then Saturday, we also have a shuttle that goes from the finish line back to the start line that evening. Sunday morning, we have a shuttle that will start we'll go to the New Braunfels hotels and then come back to the fairgrounds so you don't have to worry about driving your car. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll have one that goes from the fairgrounds, the finish line, back to the start line as well too. So yes, that means that you can park at the finish line and have your car there and get a shuttle into on Saturday morning, or you can park at the start line and then take a shuttle back on Sunday afternoon, so you don't have to worry about driving back or having a car at the finish line if you like to choose that way. And again, if you purchase those right now, they're only $20. If you purchase them a little bit later, it's only $10 more, so it's still a pretty decent little price. The QR code, you can hop on right there. And then there's also a link. I'm sure Cindy's probably looking for it right now. She'll pop that in the chat as well too, that you can purchase the tickets on as well. When we have packet pickup, you'll be able to pick up a wristband for the shuttles, and then we also keep your name as well too, just in case we don't have or you lose your wristband. So we also have a couple hotels that have been working with us for a number of years that have given us a little bit better. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on the shuttles, will the shuttles be able to carry our bikes, or they carried separately from, say, the Comal County Fairgrounds to the hotel, and then how are the bikes packed if they are carried?
Sure. Our bikes, if we're at Comal County Fairgrounds on Saturday morning, with the shuttle, there's also a truck where you can load your bikes into the truck, and then your bikes will get loaded in there and then dropped off at the start line. Same thing. Cindy, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have the same thing for Sunday afternoon. Is that right? We have a truck
Yes.
that's okay.
Saturday and Sunday afternoon. The shuttles that are going to the New Braunfels hotels, you would leave your bike in our bike compound because the bikes won't be put on the shuttles. So that's the only time that you'll leave your bike at the fairgrounds would be Saturday afternoon when you're going from the fairgrounds to the New Braunfels hotels.
Thank you.
Sure. Looks like Christina has her hand up.
Yeah, just a quick question. Is it the fee, is it one fee per ride, or is it for a round trip? Like if we're going from San Antonio to New Braunfels or New Braunfels to San Antonio, how does that work?
One fee for the whole weekend. So it doesn't matter if you're using it once or if you're using it 4 times, the fee is still just the $20 or the $30.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Cindy did mention that we do have a bike compound, and we'll also have a bike compound at the start line as well too. So if you wanted to drop your bike off on Friday evening, we have a compound in there so that it's guarded over the night. And then on Saturday evening, we also have a compound at our finish line. So if you are taking a shuttle from the fairgrounds to the hotels, your bike would stay there. Or if you just want to keep your bike there overnight, you can do that as well too. We have a group of Boy Scouts that volunteer with us every single year that check them in and check them out. And the only way to get that is with your rider number. Any other questions on shuttles? Great. All right. So lodging, San Antonio, our host hotel this year is going to be Drury Plaza. That is also the same hotel where we'll have our final packet pickup. Drury is doing a nice little package for us that evening. It includes a couple drinks that's there at the hotel from a certain time. And they do have some small bite to eat as well on that one, and a discounted rate for our riders. But I would get on that before. It was the 27th, Cindy? Is that right? Do they have the last deal going on? I don't remember the exact date on that one.
No, I think that the deadline might have passed for the special rate.
Okay. Hotels in New Braunfels. All of these hotels will also have the shuttle going towards them, to them, and picking them up as well. So the Courtyard, River Village, at Schlitterbahn, we also have rooms that are available. The Country Inn and Suites in New Braunfels, and the Howard Johnson that's on Loop 337. And you can see their rates on the website. If you go to ride details, there is one that says lodging and transportation. You can click on that link and it'll bring you up all the prices for those local hotels. All right. So what to expect ride weekend? So our start time this year has changed. On Saturday morning, we are starting at 7:30 in the morning. So Rolling Oaks Mall starting at 7:30, and then our finish on day 1 is going to be at Comal County Fairgrounds. On day 2, we start at Comal County Fairgrounds, and we also finish at the same place. And we start at 7:30 on that day as well. So for you folks that have been here for a couple years, you know that Saturday has generally been a little bit later, but now we're starting at 7:30. And then also a reminder, on Sunday, we also start at 7:30 as well. So it's more than just a ride. With your minimum fundraising and being a participant with us, we do have meals on both days, Saturday and Sunday. We have breakfast both days. We have lunch on day one, sponsored by Methodist Health Hospitals. And then we also have a finish line meal. Now, if your family and friends are coming and hanging out with you at the finish line, your finish line meal is provided. If they would like to purchase a meal, our caterers that are there can provide them with that, and their purchase meal price is only $8.50. And we have this place called Crazy Katsu that has these great chicken sandwiches, and then also chicken strips, and they're gigantic. So it's quite a deal for getting that for just $8.50. We also have our Wall of Honor on Saturday and Sunday, both days. Our Wall of Honor is just able to give you the opportunity to give an encouraging message to any of our riders, especially those that are living with MS. And Abrigo has sponsored that this year. We also have a beer garden on Saturday and Sunday for our participants that are over 21. Left Hand Brewing has been sponsoring that one for us for a number of years. And then as you're finishing the ride, there will be an announcer that is there to call out your name as you cross the line. So if you have friends and family that are there waiting for you at the finish, we actually have a nice group of people out there that check the rider numbers as they're coming in and make sure that the announcer knows who's coming in, and they'll be announcing your name as you come through. We also, for our participants, we have our rider voted our rider voted best rest stop. There's a little tongue twister there for me. So each day you can vote for your favorite rest stop. You can vote for your favorite rest stop by anything that you want. Most of the time we go by theming. This year's theme, by the way, is Oktoberfest. We've never done that one, so it's kind of a new one for us. It's being that we are a ride in October, and we are in New Braunfels, so we decided to go full hog with that one this year, and Oktoberfest is our theme. So as you're going to your rest stops, make sure you look around, see what you really kind of like about each rest stop. And then as you finish the ride, come back to our volunteer tent, and we'll have a box there so you can vote for your favorite rest stop. We also have our VIP tent. For our VIP tent is for our top fundraisers and our people that are living with, or participants that are living with MS. Thanks to Texas Partners Bank for hosting that. And then we also in the evening have our best jersey contest and our evening program. So at the end of the day, at 5 o'clock, we kick off our evening program, and it kicks off with our Living with MS Victory Parade. At 5 o'clock, our participants that are living with MS and then our community members that are also living with MS are invited to come out and cross the finish line with us. And all of us kind of gathered around the finish line. We cheer them on, and as they come through, we all go to our final go into our jersey contest and our awards for that evening as well too. We generally spend about 20 to 30 minutes hanging out, doing our best jersey contest and our evening awards that way. So please stick around for that. We're generally end up finished with that around about 6 o'clock in the evening. Sorry for the little background noise. All right, so kind of going with that, we also have our schedule. So on day one, our start line, we start pretty early for our ride. At 6 a.m., our first shuttle departs, our only shuttle, departs from Comal County Fairgrounds with bikes attached to them. Not attached to them, but they're in the truck. So at 6 a.m., that shuttle leaves. We also have another shuttle from the Drury Plaza, the host hotel, to the start line. That leaves at 6:30. So some tips that people have told us in the past that we kind of live by a little bit is make sure you allow plenty of time to get there in the morning and to park. We open the site at about 5:30 in the morning. We have lights out there because at 5 and 6, it's still going to be pretty dark. So we do have lights. we do have lights on hand so that we can see as we're getting around. There will be bike shops on hand for any little last minute details that you might need. Maybe you forgot something. Most of our bike shops are really good about bringing a couple extra things in as well too. Helmets, shoes, tubes, tires, saddles, all sorts of things can happen at the last minute. And our bike shops kind of bring that stuff in as well too. Your family and friends can come out with you as well to the start line, help you get ready, park the car, and then leave after that. We have breakfast and coffee from 6:30 to about 7:20 in the morning. That's going to be available the whole time. A couple of things that I want to highlight that are going to be happening in the morning as well too. If this is your first year riding with us, please come in, take a photo with us at 6:50. We have our starting line, and then right in front of our starting line, we have our graphic truck that we put out in front there. So please come out and take a picture with us, and we'll all do one big group ride or group photo for our first year riders. At 7 o'clock, we also do the same thing with our iRide with MS participants. All of our iRide with MS participants come out and they take a picture with us and the truck right there. At 7:10, we start our our opening ceremonies. We'll have our national anthem sung by one of our participants. We do a safety brief for that one. And then we also start letting you know our starting grid as well too. Our ride departs at 7:30 and it starts with our iRide with MS participants. We have a group of wounded soldiers that rides with us every single year. They leave, and then from there we have our top 10 teams leave after that. And then after them, our final participants start going out the chute at that time. So we'll depart at 7:30, but generally everybody's out of the corral by about 7:45 when it's all said and done. So along the route on day one, lunch this year is going to be at Cranky Pickle, and that's at mile 35. It's sponsored by Methodist Healthcare. Lunch will be open from 9 to 1 p.m. We do have riders that get there quite early, but we will have lunch hours from then. If you are planning on doing the Century Ride, which is the whole 100 miles for the route, we do have a cutoff time of that one at 3:30, and you have to pass a certain point by then. It's at about mile 72 for that. And then at 6 p.m., the route closes. If you are still en route at 6 p.m., we do have our SAG trucks that are out there and our turtle truck that's out there, and they will ask you to hop off the road to get to the finish line for that one. In the evening at day one, Team Village, not at the end, at the end of the ride, at our Team Village at Comal County Fairgrounds. We do have a number of teams that set up. We'll need some extra time to set up if they didn't get to set up on Friday evening. So the Team Village will be open from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. At that time, cars can drive in and out to drop stuff off at the Team Village or at their actual tent. From there, at 10 o'clock, we do ask all the cars not to come into the site anymore because around then we do start having participants start riding in, and it's a safety issue for us to having cars and bikes mix around in that little area. So if you are helping a team, make sure that those teams know that cars will be off site by 10 o'clock. 10:30. Our official site opens. Again, we'll have the announcers crossing names. We'll have a rider voted best rest stop at the volunteer tent. Sign our wall of honor over on that side. Starting at noon, our VIP tent opens up, and that's for our iRide with MS riders, our top fundraisers, and then if you're a passport rider, you're also welcome in there as well too. We also have a rider lounge sponsored by HEB. That's going to be opened up at noon as well too. And our rider lounge is our community tent that's open to anybody. If you don't have a team, or if you do have a team and you want another place to hang out at for a minute, that's open for you as well. We have a beer garden sponsored by Left Hand Brewing. That opens at noon, and it's located behind the rider lounge. And then our shuttle service to the New Braunfels hotels starts around there, around that time. And then also our bike compound opens. To check your bike in at the compound, you'll make sure that you'll have your rider number, and your rider number is on your bike as well. And the only way to get it back out is to have the same corresponding rider number. At 1 o'clock, we'll start handing out finishing line meals. And our photo booth is going to be open as well. And then we also have bike shop support that's going to be there from 1 o'clock until about 6 o'clock that evening. At 5 o'clock, we have our Living with MS Victory Parade. Talked about that a little bit earlier, but again, if you have anybody that is living with MS that's coming out with you, make sure they come out and hang out with us on that one. Everybody is welcome to, or everybody that's living with MS is welcome to come across the finish line with us. And if you have any questions about that one, feel free to reach out to myself or Cindy, and we can get you in touch with the right people for that. At 5:15, we start our overnight awards. We have our team awards and celebration. We have our best team jersey contest. And we're also going to be doing a first year rider toast. So make sure you come out with your favorite beverage and give a cheers to your first ride with us. At 6 p.m., we have a shuttle that goes from the finish line back to Rolling Oaks Mall. Bike shop support ends at that time, and the beer garden and the photo booth closes then as well too. At 7, we do, it's our last shuttle to our local New Braunfels hotels. And then we also have our finish line meals. Our caterer is packing up by that time. So we'll be done with those meals. And then we also have a shower truck on site, and that's going to close at 7:30. At 9 o'clock is when we officially close the gates for the Comal County Fairgrounds. There is no camping at the Comal County Fairgrounds, so make sure that anybody on your team that was planning on doing that knows that that is a no camping spot, and they will need to go to a hotel or Airbnb. There might still be a couple RV spots that are there at the Comal County Fairgrounds, but you need to get those reserved beforehand. There's typically about 6 spots. I know of 3 right now that are definitely reserved. So you might check into that one if you have an RV. Starting on day 2, we open up our site about 5:30 in the morning, and then our shuttles start from 5:45 to about 7:30 in the morning. We have breakfast and coffee from 6:30 to 7:30. At 7, we do start our lineup and our opening ceremonies. At 7:30 is when our ride departs, goes out with our I Ride with MS participants, our Wounded Warriors, and a little bit different for day 2, our Club 100, Passport, and our Club K riders hop up, and they're the first ones to go. Or after that group. And then after that, our riders that have been riding for 10 or plus years are welcome to go. And then we have 2 different routes on day 2. We have a 61 mile and a 38 mile. Our 61 mile riders will exit first, and then our 38 miles riders will go. So what to expect on team at the finish line and Team Village on day 2. Again, we'll have our announcer, we'll have our rider lounge and our wall of honor open. Our bike compound will be open as well too. We still have our shower trucks. Those are going to be open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have our VIP tent for our I Ride with MS, top fundraisers, passport riders, same folks. That's going to be open from 10:30 to 4. That is a change from in the past. We used to do just breakfast there. We're switching it up a little bit this year. It'll be a lunch that's available at the VIP tent, or a lunch and light snacks that are over that way. We also have a finish line meal, barbecue on day 2. That'll be served from 11 to 3. And our beer garden is also going to be open from noon to 4. We have 2 shuttles that will be going back to Rolling Oaks Mall. We'll have one at noon, and we'll also have another one at 4 p.m. And that's from the finish line back to the start line. And there will be a truck that will take your bikes there with you as well. And then at 4 p.m., our route closes. We clean up for the day and start heading on back on home. So I mentioned a couple of our VIP groups, our Club 100. Our Club 100 are our top 100 fundraisers from the previous year. So we invite those folks to come out to our VIP tent. You'll be able to recognize them en route. They have a personalized bib rider number and on their bib. So you'll see their Club 100 rank, and then also you'll see their name on as well too. They also get a VIP parking pass for Comal County Fairgrounds and for the Rolling Oaks Mall. They also earn a top fundraiser gift each year. When we're at the lunch, as we're riding in, make sure you're kind of looking for those Club 100 signs. You'll see their name and their number as we start going into the lunch line. They get a little bit more recognition at the finish line. And then our top 100 fundraisers also have a special jersey for themselves as well too. Their name is printed on a jersey. So if you are interested in being a top Club 100 fundraiser, most of the time fundraising starts at about the $2,000 level for that. Each year it's a little bit different, but if you kind of wanted to make sure you're on a solid note to be in Club 100, I would have a goal of raising at least $2,000. We also put their name on the wrapped vehicle the following year as well too. Our participants that raise over $1,000 are Club K. They also get a VIP tent or a VIP parking pass for Comal County and for Rolling Oaks Mall. And we also invite them to the VIP tent as well. They get a jersey. It doesn't have their name on it, but it does say top fundraiser on the back of it. And then that year they also get a Club K rider number as well too. We do have a number of participants that live with MS and that also participate in our ride. It's our I Ride with MS folks. Our ride generally has between 50 and 65 people that participate in our ride that are living with MS. You'll be able to notice them a couple different ways. One, they could have their I Ride with MS jersey on. Our local I Ride with MS committee also prints out a special license plates for them as well too. It'll have their name and it'll also have kind of a little image of the jersey on there as well too. And it'll say I Ride with MS. So that's posted on their, most times people put this on their back of their bike. Some of them that will also have their bib that has their rider number that specifically says they have MS as well. And let's remember, like, the people that we're riding with that are living, or the people that are riding with MS, they do have a bit harder time when they're riding. Heat really affects them. And then also standing sometimes for a long period of time also is a little bit harder on them. So if you do see somebody with a helmet sticker that says I Ride with MS, if you see somebody that has their I Ride with MS jersey on, or their bib, or if you notice, they have on their bike plate that they have I Ride with MS, please give them a little bit of extra time. Give them a little bit of space to go up in front of you in line. We're helping ride for them. They also have a little bit of harder time at some of our rest stops. So if you would, just have them give a little cut every now and then. At the lunch stop, we'll also have paletas for them and our Club 100, or our top 100 riders, and our passport riders at lunch stop. We also have a VIP tent, and our VIP tent is air conditioned. A number of folks that are living with MS do have a hard time regulating their body temperature. So having an air conditioned tent to help cool them off is one of those things that has been told to us that they really needed. So that's one of the things that we're working with them as well too. And then at the end of Saturday, we also do our MS Victory Parade. So invite all those folks that are living with MS to come on out as well and participate in that too. If this is your first year riding with us, we hope to get you a first year rider sticker. Yes, it does say rookie rider. It doesn't mean that you are a true rookie. You've never been part of the group before or a brand new rider, but we do want to recognize you as a way to say that this is your first year. So some of the perks of being a first year rider, make sure you wear your sticker because at lunch you also get a paletta if you have your sticker. So make sure you're having that one. And then also we'd love to have all you first year riders come out and take a picture with us at the start line at 6:45. And then at the end of day one, after when we're doing our evening program, come out and join us with a toast and let us and the rest of the riders that are there toast you for your first ride. We'll have beer available from Left Hand Brewing, and then we also have water, milks, chocolate milks, and anything like any drinks of your choice to go ahead and cheers that one at the end. And then stick around for the award celebration at the end. If you do have any questions during Ride Weekend, the info tent, which is the volunteer tent, has all sorts of areas for resources. If you're looking for where the bathrooms are at, where your tent might be located, if you need a schedule for the shuttles, if you don't remember when time the schedules are or the shuttles are coming, or if you need to know where that's located at, please come out there. We have infos. We have people there that are helping you with questions for that as well too. All right. So under rider safety, before I go into that one, does anybody have any questions about the schedule or anything so far? All right. So our ride is open to all traffic. So we do not have a closed route. So you will have cars coming by you along the route. So with that, we are traffic as we ride bikes. So make sure that you are following all traffic laws that are there. So if there's a stoplight or a stop sign, please obey those. If there is a police officer there, please obey the police officers so that they know that you're following their rules as well too. Making sure that we stay to the right of the road. We're not trying to impede traffic all the way. We do slow them down a little bit, but if you are riding with other groups, make sure that you're only riding two abreast and not all the way across the whole lane. One thing that is a little bit different from our ride that you might not experience in other ones is that we do ask you to take off headphones and earplugs, because we want to make sure that you can hear everything that's around you and make sure that you are following the rules of the road, and then also being able to hear anybody that says anything to you as you're riding. So they could be saying, look out for rocks on the road, gravel on the road, big white Great Pyrenees that are coming at you from the side, or even saying that there's a gravel truck that's along the route. Just make sure that we're keeping our ears clear so that we can hear everything that's around us. There is a little safety video that is attached. I can play that, or I'll let you guys watch that one on your own. It kind of goes over all those same rules again, but just make sure that we're following all the rules of the road as we're riding. So we do have a lot of support that is on the ride. We have rest stops about every 12 miles this year. And our rest stops are fully stocked. They have water, they have nutrition, and they also have extra support that there as well too. We have bicycle mechanics that are at every rest stop, and we also have radio communications, our hams that are out there. We have medical support that is all at our rest stops as well. Along the route, we also have SAG vehicles. Our SAG vehicles are there in case that you need, if you get a flat along the route, you don't have anything to change it with. Our SAG vehicles can take you from wherever you're located to the next rest stop. Or if you've gotten too tired along the route and you need a ride to the next rest stop, they'll be able there to take you as well too. We have ride marshals along the route. Our ride marshals are good stewards of what we're doing on the road. They are volunteering on top of fundraising for us as well too. So all of our ride marshals have met their minimum fundraising, and they're here to help you out along the route as well too. You'll be able to see them in their bright red jerseys. They will have packs to help out with flat tires and a couple small little tools to help with a little roadside maintenance. We also have our route maps. You can download those with Ride with GPS. So you can have the route on your cycling computer or your phone. And then we also have printed maps as well too. We have route signs across the whole route as well. And then on top of this one, we also have bike police. So those are actual police officers that are riding with us, helping direct traffic and also being first responders. And then we also have our ride medics. And we have medics that are on bikes riding with you along the route. And then we also have moto medics this year as well too. So those are medical personnel that are on motorcycles. Did I miss anything there, Cindy? I don't think I did. We have tons of support.
No,
on
you
our
did
ride.
great. You did great, Jamie.
Yeah, we have tons of support on our ride. All right, so here's a quick little overview. I don't know if I had said this at the beginning. We do have a little route change this year. If you look at the profile, the first part of the ride is a little bit more hilly than it has been in the past. So make sure you're watching out for that one. And then from lunch to the finish, it is pretty mellow. I'll say that. It's a little bit more mellow on the second half of the route. So we do have our Century route, we have our 42-mile route, and we have a 75-mile route. These are updated anytime that we do know that we have a road closure or if we have any construction that's going on and we do have to move the route. Please go back to the original website so that you can get the most up-to-date map that is on there. Day 2 is our same route that we've been doing. You had a question, Cindy, you were going to say that?
Jamie, I was just going to say, can you go over day 1 changes a little bit more since there's
Sure. Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of changes for this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So going out of the start, typically we're still going to be going out Rolling Oaks Mall, and then we're headed down Nacogdoches Road. Typically where we got to that first stoplight, we went straight across on Nacogdoches Road. This year, once we get to that stop sign, or that stoplight, I'm sorry, we're going to be taking a left-hand turn up on Evans Road. That's going to lead us back out a little bit more into Bexar County, getting a little bit closer to Highway 281. It is a little bit more hilly on that side. It is a starts out as a 2-lane road and then turns into a 4-lane road. There is a shoulder over most of it. And then we're going to be turning on to TPC Parkway. If you play golf or if you know folks that play golf, TPC is one of our pro golf courses here in San Antonio. We're going to be going kind of right by there and then dipping into a couple of the neighborhoods that are down over that way. From there, we're going to be going to a new rest stop at Indian Springs. I just was looking at this. Is it Indian Springs Elementary School?
Correct.
Thanks. Okay, thanks. Indian Springs Elementary School. And it's a new rest stop over there for us. And the first rest stop is at mile 11. Is that correct? I don't have those notes on me right now. I think the first rest stop is about mile 11. From there, we're going to be exiting out of that one, and we'll be going out to Bulverde Road. Bulverde Road changes over to Smith and Valley. It's still exactly the same road, just changes names. So we head out Smith and Valley until we get to 1863. There is a little rough road section right before we get to 1863. So be on the lookout for that. And then once we hop onto 1863, we'll have another rest stop at mile 24, 24,
26.
25.
So the first one will be
26,
12,
thanks.
26 for the second.
Thank you. Mile 12 and then mile 26 will be the second rest stop. So it is a little bit longer in between those two, but there's not a lot of stuff along 1863 for us to have rest stops at. From 1863, we'll be headed down to Kruger Canyon. At Kruger Canyon, there is a quarry, and there is also a pretty decent downhill at the end of that quarry. So as we get to that downhill, we'll have signs to say, make sure you're being a little bit more cautious as you're coming down. At the bottom of that hill, it is a blind, trying to think right now. It's a left-hand turn to a right-hand turn at the end of the bottom of that hill. We will have some police support at the top of the hill and at the bottom of the hill. So any cars that would be going up that hill will be notified by police officers that are there, and then also the police that are at the top of the hill will be notifying riders and any cars that are coming down that way. From there, we're going to take a little turn into our lunch spot, which is at Cranky Pickle. Cranky Pickle is a pickleball court and cycling, indoor cycling center that's in New Braunfels. And they're hosting us for our lunch stop. This will be the first year they're going to be hosting us there. From that point, our 42-mile route goes directly back into New Braunfels, and it's pretty much pancake flat from there. If you choose to do the 100 or 75-mile route, we're going a little bit differently than we have beforehand. We're not going to be crossing I-10 this year, so kind of like watch for the changes that are happening on that one. After going north of Seguin a little bit, we do hop back onto our route that we've been going to, or that we've been on beforehand. So Freedman's Church is still out there, and that is one of our rest stops again. And then for our 175, we'll also be going through downtown Green. We do have a little bit of turnoff road on there, so you're not going to be going straight into Green Hall. There's a little side road that is about a quarter, actually it's about an eighth of a mile before you get to Green Hall, so you don't have to mess with that traffic that's right there. There's going to be police officers at both those locations so that you can see where you're going to be turning at. If you're going onto our Century route, it'll be an up and back on River Road, and then finishing up at Comal County Fairgrounds.
Thank you, Jamie.
Mm-hmm. So for day 2, our route has not changed. We've been doing the same route that we've been doing for a number of years. The Gummy Bear route is pretty much one of my favorite routes. I used to live in New Braunfels, and this is one of our pretty much standard routes that we did as New Braunfels cyclists. So that one's still on the route, and both of these routes do come down River Road, and if you've never been into New Braunfels to cycle, River Road is it's one of the most beautiful rides in the country. It follows the Guadalupe River from almost Canyon Lake all the way back into New Braunfels, and it's just 13 miles of gorgeousness. So be ready if you've never got to ride it before. And also, if you have family that are coming out, they don't know what to do, they're wanting to come help support you over the weekend, I invite them to come out and volunteer if they have a little bit extra time. We always need first aid volunteers, and we also need help early in the morning as well too. So if you have folks that are like to get up super early in the morning, we have bike loading that happens in New Braunfels at pretty much from 5 a.m. to about 6 a.m. when the shuttle leaves. We'll have bike loading opportunities that way. And if you do have questions on that one, please get with Cindy and I, and we can get you in the right in touch with the right people for those. All right. I have not been watching the chat. So if there are any questions, I'll go ahead and open it up for that and then check the chat as well too.
Backing up to ride marshals, is there a ride marshal coordinator? I'm coming in from out of town, so I haven't had any communications along those lines.
Yes, James Johnson is our ride marshal coordinator. If you shoot me an email, I'll get you in touch with him.
Terrific.
sending
And your email address is?
I'm jamie.brown. I'll put it in the chat for us. Oh, you're calling in from the phone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Jamie.Brown.
JAYME .brown
Okay.
at nmss.org.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
And your name was, just so I remember it?
It's Jim Chaplin.
Jim
I've
Chaplin.
been a ride marshal in San Antonio for years and rode with Team NB, but we got adopted by
Misfits. Mischief. There it is. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim,
Thank
I
you.
did. Jim, it's Christine. I did respond to your email, and I sent you James Johnson's phone number.
Great. Thank you very much. I just hadn't looked at my email. So Jamie,
No worries.
I won't have to notify you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Christine.
You bet.
All right. Any other questions so far?
Nothing in the chat.
Great. I got one to stir up a lot of Texans. Who's going to be winning that A&M UT game this year?
Uh-oh. We just lost everyone. Jamie, I think you just did a really good job of explaining all the details. Well, we couldn't be more excited to have just add in real quick. We couldn't be more excited to have each of you join us this year. It's our 35th annual ride. And so we're really grateful for the time that you're dedicating to MS and to Bike MS, for suiting up, for fundraising, for training. It's a big year. 35 years is a long time for this bike ride to continue to move forward, and we want to continue to support people living with MS now and in the future until we find a cure. So we're so grateful that each and every one of you has chosen to participate in Bike MS. And Jamie and I will continue to be here. So if you have any questions or any needs, please don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us. And I guess we'll see you at the start line.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or packet pickup if you have a
Or a
question.
packet pickup. Yes.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank
Have a good
you,
night.
everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Oh, Jamie, do you just the record button or?